50 pulls out an old video of Diddy on stage slapping Hove on his back, man.
All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and trying to engage other men into sexual acts with him.
50 Cent isn't taking any days off from trolling Diddy, and he just released a video to seemingly prove that Jay-Z took part in Diddy's male freak-offs. Now, we know that Diddy and Jay are still very close, because just months ago, Diddy said in an interview that only 2 people are allowed to call him by his government name, Sean, his mom, and Jay-Z. Diddy also still has a photo of him and Jay on his website, Combs Global, and it looks like he takes a lot of pride in their friendship. But is 50 Cent now implying that Diddy and Jay were more than friends at some point? Or is Jay staying silent on Diddy allegations because his closet is also full of skeletons? Let's get into it.
You feel like what you call it? It's more. Yeah, more. Let's go celebrate this.
Ever since news broke that Cassie was suing Diddy for all kinds of depraved acts, including forced encounters with male S-workers, 50 has been exposing all kinds of messy details about Diddy. And now he also added Jay-Z in the chat, seemingly implying that Diddy and Jay have more in common than most people think. Now, 50 Cent and Jay-Z have been at odds for more than 2 decades, and at one point, 50 even accused Jay of buying his way to the top.
Let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there, because America can be purchased. We can buy it with marketing dollars.
50 also thought it was weird that Jay-Z refers to himself as Jesus, and he told Rolling Stone in 2009 he has a king complex. He thinks he's effing Jesus. This Jay-hovish. And in that same interview, 50 also seemingly accused Jay of betraying people who are closest to him, like former Rockefeller artist Beanie Siegel. 50 said he didn't have their interests in mind. He was just doing what he had to do for himself. And it's not just 50 who thinks Jay ruined a lot of people to get to the top. Uncle Ron, who reportedly briefly worked as Beyonce's bodyguard, claimed that both Jay and Beyonce destroyed many people.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. I say I ain't Biggie. Say I ain't Beanie Siegels. I ain't Freeway. How you wrote all them off the minute they did for you to get you to the top.
But Uncle Ron also said something about Beyonce that fans think sounds very similar to what Cassie said about Diddy.
Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
And then Jaguar Wright made even more serious claims, suggesting that a lot of people who were once in Jay's inner circle, like Big L, faced tragic ends.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as the nigga that was with Big L.
Rest
for
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest. One of the
sensei.
dope.
Diddy Sen isn't taking any days off from trolling Diddy, and he just released a video to seemingly prove that JC took part in Diddy's male freak-offs. Now we know that Diddy and Jay are still very close because just months ago, Diddy said in an interview that only 2 people are allowed to call him by his government name, Sean, his mom. And Jay-Z Diddy also still has a photo of him and Jay on his website, Combs Global, and it looks like he takes a lot of pride in their friendship. But is 50 Cent now implying that Diddy and Jay were more than friends at some point? Or is Jay staying silent on Diddy allegations because his closet is also full of skeletons? Let's get into it.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with this.
So, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that 50 Cent and Jay-Z are not on good terms at all. But you see Jay and Diddy? Nah, those two have remained besties over the years, and they have never been afraid to show off their love for each other. Diddy always had a picture of himself and Jay-Z on his website, and now he has this cute little speech Jay-Z gave in his honor for the montage for Diddy's Lifetime Achievement Award. And here he is proudly telling everyone that the only 2 people allowed to call him by his government name Sean are his mama and Sean Carter. Also, whenever either of them hosts a party, the other is sure to be on the guest list. That's why people found it weird when Jay-Z conveniently decided not to host his annual Rock Nation party this year, which many people felt was just his way of trying to avoid being seen in public with Diddy. And even going back before that, people have noticed that Jay-Z has been keeping a low profile since Cassie's lawsuit dropped. The only time we've ever really seen him in public was during the last Grammys, and he left right after receiving his award. It seems like Jay-Z has been trying to avoid Diddy at all costs. But the question is, what does Jay-Z have to do with everything that's been going on with Diddy? Well, according to 50 Cent and other industry insiders, everything you're seeing with Diddy is just the tip tip of the iceberg. Jay-Z has much darker secrets, the only difference between him and Diddy being that he is smarter and not sloppy. Do y'all remember how Jaguar Wright said basically the same thing in a recent interview?
Sean Carter is worse. He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Just even lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years. He's fucking worse.
Jaguar has actually been on Jay-Z's case for a long time because she believes he is one of the most dangerous people in the industry. A couple years ago, she did an interview where she talked about how Jay-Z and R. Kelly share the same dark history, even down to girlfriends. And when you think about it, Jay did allegedly have something weird going on with Aaliyah, and this was confirmed by Dame Dash in an interview where he talked about how he felt betrayed when Jay-Z started going after Aaliyah. Also, isn't it super creepy that Jay-Z knew about all the things R. Kelly was doing with Aaliyah, but also with all them other girls and women that were working on him and still did a whole album and tour with him? Jay-Z certainly has a very interesting style of picking his...
The best? Jay-Z. Good business. Say hypothetically it was 50 Cent number one, then who? Would it be Jay after that?
Probably not. They're afraid their kids gonna want to be 50 Cent if they acknowledge the material. So they don't give you the trophies. I got the checks. I didn't get the trophies. Jay got all the trophies, man. That's because he signed that contract.
What contract?
What was No, if you don't sign, you don't give him a trophy, she ain't coming.
50 Cent has called out Jay-Z and Diddy for sacrificing people to move their careers up. And some of the allegations he made are pretty serious, including Jay-Z and Diddy being responsible for, or at least having a hand in, the deaths of multiple rappers. Does 50 Cent really have information on Jay-Z and Diddy's dark parts? Are Jay-Z and Diddy really sacrificing other rappers just to get on top? Let's dig in. The competition in the rap game is often cutthroat, especially back in the 90s when everyone was a gangster, everyone wanted to pop off, and no one wanted to be caught slacking. There were, and still are, rappers who would do anything, cross anyone, to make it on top. According to 50 Cent, Jay-Z and P. Diddy are two rappers who fall into that category of rappers for whom no cost is too great to pay as long as it pushes their career forward, even if that means getting rid of other rappers. Now, y'all know that Jay-Z and Diddy have always faced Illuminati allegations and been suspected of offing rappers as sacrifices to the Illuminati. Those rumors are reaching at best. So let's focus on 50 Cent's allegations that Jay-Z and Diddy have ripped numerous artists off through their record labels. One rapper that immediately comes to mind when talking about Jay-Z's shady dealings is the legendary rapper Coolio, who died last year. On a Wednesday afternoon in September last year, Coolio was at a friend's house in LA when he went to the bathroom and never came back outside. When the friend checked on him, he found Coolio passed out on the floor. Paramedics would later confirm that Coolio died on the spot. For months, the details behind Coolio's death remained unknown, though many people suspected he died from a cardiac arrest. Many of Coolio's close associates and family knew that he had been battling some underlying health issues for years, but others believed that Jay and Diddy were somehow involved in Coolio's death because of some interviews Coolio did shortly before he died that suggested that he might have been afraid for his life. Apparently, Coolio had dirt on some people in the industry, and he wanted to expose them for who they were. So, they had to act and silence him before he could come out with any damning information. Authorities later confirmed that Coolio had undiagnosed heart conditions that eventually led...
Ever since news broke that Cassie was suing Diddy for all kinds of depraved acts, including forced encounters with male S-workers, Fiddy has been exposing all kinds of messy details about Diddy, and now he also added Jay-Z in the chat, seemingly implying that Diddy and Jay have more in common than most people think. Now Fiddy's son and Jay-Z have been at odds for more than 2 decades, and at one point Fiddy even accused Jay of buying his way to the top.
Tell him, look,
Later you gonna find out a little shit that I be saying be real. Do you understand what I'm saying? Man, listen, I'm trying to tell you the truth. But the truth, sometimes it hurts. Right. It hurts people and they don't want to hear that shit. But I'm trying to tell you, nigga asked me, could he take me shopping? And it fucked me up because I'm looking like, what the fuck is this nigga just like, I want to take you shopping. I got a bankroll out this motherfucker. I want to take you shopping. Why? Because when you walk around looking so motherfucking good, I'm going to feel like, God damn it, that motherfucker with me. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. But when a nigga tell me he want to take me shopping, what the fuck is the matter with this nigga?
Hold on. Well, where was this at?
This was at the wedding.
Story. Tell him the story. So we talking about rumors. Right?
Yeah.
And we, when you Google his name, there's a rumor that pops up that he was Diddy's boy toy.
Oh shit!
Right?
Wait, so this is
so Charlamagne said
it's not true, but I told after he brought up this stuff with you, I said, you know what 50 gonna say when he meets you?
Oh no, I didn't know that was going on.
You know,
I can't wait to run into him again.
What you gonna say to him?
Hope he was playing with your booty in Miami.
You know what 50 gonna say to you when he sees you. I heard Diddy touch your butt.
Yeah. Wait till I see him. Wait till I see him. I'll be like, yo. Yeah.
Last time Sean Diddy Combs came to the clubhouse, he played Plead the Fifth. But did Diddy plead for pity? He didn't. So here's what, Sean Diddy Combs, the time has come for you to plead the fifth again. I have 3 much harder questions. You may plead the fifth to only one. 50 Cent has thrown a few insults your way recently. Called you a fruit boot biscuit, among other things. Have you talked to him about this? And why do you think he's throwing insults at you?
He loves me.
He loves you?
He loves me.
And so it's out of love?
I mean, or some insecurities.
Too good?
But yeah, I don't take it seriously. It's nothing like that. It's not really a big deal to me. It doesn't affect my life.
Stevie J first came to Bad Boy after they left Uptown Records and everything like that. And Stevie J and Puff fell out real bad over producer credits and the whole 9 yards. But Stevie J didn't F with him until Love and Hip Hop. When Stevie J went to Love and Hip Hop and he became famous from that, Puff called him over there and they had a meeting. And I guess they rekindled their friendship because I used to bodyguard Stevie J and, go to different clubs. I got pictures and everything. Stevie J didn't mess with Puff. Then Stevie J went on TMZ and was speaking up on behalf of Diddy. Now, if anybody I want speaking up on behalf of me, or I had anybody speaking up on my behalf, it wouldn't be Stevie J. You understand? I don't think that an individual of his caliber is capable or can be trusted in a way that I would like for him based on his actions on television and the infamous words of one of the world's greatest comedians, Richard Pryor.
50 also thought it was weird that Jay-Z refers to himself as Jesus, and he told Rolling Stone in 2009 he has a king complex. He thinks he's effing Jesus, this Jovish. And in that same interview, 50 also seemingly accused Jay of betraying people who were closest to him, like former Rockefeller artist Beanie Siegel. 50 said he didn't have their interests in mind. He was just doing what he had to do for himself. And it's not just 50 who thinks Jay ruined a lot of people to get to the top. Uncle Ron, who reportedly briefly worked as Beyoncé's bodyguard, claimed that both Jay and Beyoncé destroyed many people.
With Tupac or no? Did you ever?
No, I saw him right before he passed too. Yeah, that's crazy. Never work with him though.
What did Tupac do? He did gang-related Poetic Justice. He did Juice. And he did a couple other things. He did a basketball.
Did something with Jim Belushi. Remember he did the one thing?
Yeah. What did he do? Can you Above the Rim, Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson, which I thought it was great.
Yeah. Bullet, I think is.
Oh yeah, gang-related album soundtrack was actually good. I don't know if you've listened to the gang-related soundtrack. It was
Not
actually
in a minute.
Yeah, it was a really, really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cuba, with all this stuff that's coming up with Diddy and you're on one end, 50 Cent is calling out Diddy and here's what he's doing and all this stuff, and they got the back and forth.
Yeah.
I got Suge on here.
Look at this example. Look what happened.
Yeah. And I got Suge on. Yeah, exactly. No question about it. What do you think's going on with all the stuff with Diddy, with Little Rod, with, you know, all the stories that everybody's hearing about?
You mean in terms of what?
I mean, you know, raiding his, you know, his house being raided.
I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I'd ever. And then, hey, how about me? I wake up in the morning, I turn on the Today Show, and Hector Cuba Gooding Jr. I was like, excuse me, pull me into this. I think whatever he's dealing with, he's on his journey, man. I think that God has got him on a path where I can't imagine that he's stupid enough to do whatever he's doing and keep it on his premises. I think that the raid and all of that stuff, only time will tell who was involved, who had been a frequent guest in these places and areas. It's funny because my lawyers said, you know, every outlet in the world wants to talk to you. And again, I'm like, I'm not defining myself from some headline in the press. So I stayed quiet. And it's so funny. So I'll tell you a little story about who my girlfriend is. She gave Robert De Niro 3 grandkids. Her name is Claudine De Niro. She married his son, Raphael. They separated and we've been together for a while. But she, at one point, ran Naomi Campbell's publicity. She, at one point, ran P. Diddy's publicity, right when he started doing the white party thing. Mm-hmm. He had just gotten freed from indictment, found not guilty. Did he? And he said to her, I'm going to die running with these niggas, man. I need you to help me with the white folks and the switch. And so she helped cultivate his new image. So they had a friendship for years. But I had never met him till probably 2019-20.
But Uncle Ron also said something about Beyonce that fans think sounds very similar to what Cassie said about Diddy. And then Jaguar Wright made even more serious claims, suggesting that a lot of people who were once in Jay's inner circle, like Big L, faced tragic ends. Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with.
Since that night where this guy with this picture, it says that I had my shoulder on him and all this stuff, making it look sordid. Well, that picture, everyone in the room, there's probably 300 of us on the deck of P. Diddy's, I'm going to show you, on P. Diddy's boat, New Year's Eve. I went from one ship, Happy New Year. So I hung out with Tyson, and next ship, there's Drake. This ship had P. Diddy. He had his guy, his videographer. They're listening to music. And he says, hey, Cube, listen, you want to hear P. Diddy's new song? I said, yeah, sure. Sit down next to him. They didn't use this angle, which to me makes me laugh because I go, oh, I get it. You made it look the way you wanted it to look. But that, and if you hold it, you know how you hold it and it does the thing where, can you hear all the people? If you tap it or something, it's a live picture. You see what I mean? It's like, here we are just listening to music. Finished, took the thing off, said whatever I said to him, left. That was it. But this guy who's suing him, going after the money, man. I'm sure. And by the way, I don't know P. Diddy's life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what the police are going to find on all of that.
Were you guys close? Were you guys friends, or
we were acquaintances? Just like I just showed you, 2-3 times I've seen him. So it's
so Diddy, you've only seen him 2 or 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So why would they include you all of a sudden in some?
I think because of the darkness of the other grab of the cases that I already had went through.
Right. A lot of that stuff is 18 though, 19, right? Those are from 5-6 years ago. That's cases.
That's right.
And that was that at the peak of the Me Too movement, or was that pre-Me Too movement?
That's right.
Is Me
that's
Too
right
movement,
when it kicked off. Yeah,
right.
That was crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Diddy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But I did not know that you guys only hung out 2 or 3 times.
That's it, man.
And 50 was with you for your 56th birthday. I think you guys were hanging out together in Miami.
Yeah, because we were in St. Bart's on that boat. But then in Miami, which is where I run around now, of course, I ran into 50 and he was promoting his champagne. I've seen Drake 100 times around town. He loves Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
I'm big with the rappers, man.
How do you feel about 50? How's 50 like?
It's so funny. I got a call from 50 who reached out to me and said, we got to uplift our black entertainers and let's work together. I said, great. So we'll see, I try not to voice any of my opinion when it comes to the rap songs because just like everybody else, I'm into that music, man.
Are you
know what I mean?
following the Lamar and Drake thing?
No, I just heard about that.
Yeah, got it. I mean, that's like a whole.
Somebody just got shot today outside of Drake's house.
I
Did
heard.
you see that?
I heard.
So, I mean, it's like drive-by shooting in a gated community. I mean, that sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, Drake security guard seriously injured in shooting at Toronto's mansion. Guard was shot inside Drake's home and had serious.
As the ongoing feud between Jay-Z and 50 Cent continues to heat up, fans are left speculating about what lies ahead for these two music industry giants. With tensions rising daily, the conflict seems to be driven by a mix of personal grievances and professional competition.
But non-life-threatening injuries while the assailant fled in a vehicle.
Yeah, I say to them, just like I said to Tupac when I saw him in the lobby of that hotel in Chicago, he said, hey, man, help me, man, give me some advice. I said, hey, man, just remember your artistry first. I know you're getting caught up with all this madness, but you're an artist now. He said, thanks, Cube. He hugged me and he went off. And
how old was he at the time?
Well, 2-3 weeks later, he was gone.
Oh, no shit.
I saw him, and here's the second time I saw Tupac. This is a true story. Now, I don't like the conspiracy things. But that day, he was in a convertible, like Rolls Royce. He was at the stop site, and I was on a hockey tournament, so I was in Vegas as well, playing hockey, and Tyson had his fight. And I jumped out of the car, and I ran up to his car. Pac, it's Cube! And all three cars, all these cars, boom, 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 with the guns.
Get out.
No, that's Cube good, man. Hey, that's Cube good. And I go, oh, sorry, man. He goes, you good? I go, I'm good. I'm sorry, guys. Got in the car. So that happens that day when the sun's out, and at night they get shot and there's no cops around.
Here.
That's a true story. I was involved in that.
So in the morning, few hours later, he's gone.
Yeah. Yes. And so where were all of those undercover cops that pulled the guns on me when I tried to approach him sitting in his car convertible?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying it's weird that they were going to blow me away, and I'm Academy Award winner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because that's 96. So
Yeah.
at 96, you're like everywhere.
I'm the man.
Yeah, you're the man in
They're like,
96.
we don't care. Get away. Back up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, what did he pay you for, Jerry Maguire? I forgot to ask you earlier. Was that your big payday?
No, yeah, at that point, $600,000.
What's the biggest you made for a movie?
Oh, Snow Dogs. You know, I can't talk hell about Snow Dogs. Oh, that was a good year. Well, that's a 1-2 hit, baby. 13 million total that year.
Wow.
I made a lot
Get
of money.
out of here.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You know that money's gone.
Good.
I already spent that money.
Really?
Yeah, $13 million.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you made some good investments.
I made some investments, but that money.
Hey.
So you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that 50 Cent and Jay-Z are not on good terms at all. But you see Jay and Diddy. Nah, those two have remained besties over the years, and they have never been afraid to show off their love for each other. Diddy always had a picture of himself and Jay-Z on his website, and now he has this cute little speech Jay-Z gave in his honor for the montage for Diddy's Lifetime Achievement Award. And here he is, proudly telling everyone that the only two people allowed to call him by his government name, Sean, are his mama, and Sean Carter also. Whenever either of them hosts a party, the other is sure to be on the guest list.
She knew someone that went through Jimmy Hinchman proffer agreement for a drug case. And the proffer agreement revealed that Jimmy Hinchman, he could have walked away if he would have given up Diddy. What she mean by that?
Well, what happened is that they had 9 different sessions with Jimmy Hinchman regarding his proffer agreement. So that means the feds went in there 9 different times to talk to him. And in those sessions, they asked him, what do you know about Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs? I don't think it was Puffy at that time. It wasn't Diddy at the time. But what do you know about Sean John Puffy Combs having sex with underage boy? And you got to realize, and people never think about this, that Jimmy and his brother, I think they had the same charges. But his brother walked away from that, and Jimmy gets life without the possibility of parole, I think. Which is crazy. For any drug charge. Nobody should spend their life in jail for drug charges. And just drug charges. But I think they tried to tie him to some murders or something like that. I don't know that to be for sure. But he shouldn't spend his life in jail for no drug charges. Not at all. So, but they was gonna let him walk. If he'd have probably had to for that proffer agreement, they probably let him walk. If he had any information regarding Puff having sex with underage boys. That the feds asked him in 2011. In 2011, brother. So what did the feds know? Because the feds not coming there unless somebody made a report or somebody made some allegations against Puff in 2011 to ask a friend of his, Jimmy Henchman, what do you know about that? But for them to ask him about that, it had to be more than a rumor. Somebody made a complaint somewhere. And the feds got hold to that complaint. Now they're going to investigate that complaint when they get people under the barrel, like they had Jimmy Henchman. That's why they asked him.
If he did know information, right, why you think he didn't tell?
Then they would ask, how do you know? And then it comes into play, whereas that if you know of anybody that's in danger in the welfare of a child, and you see that, and you don't report it.
That's why people found it weird when Jay-Z conveniently decided not to host his annual Rock Nation party this year, which many people felt was just his way of trying to avoid being seen in public with Diddy, and even going back before, that people have noticed that Jay-Z has been keeping a low profile since Cassie's lawsuit dropped. The only time we've ever really seen him in public was during the last Grammys, and he left right after receiving his award. It seems like Jay-Z has been trying to avoid Diddy at all costs, but the question is, what does Jay-Z have to do with everything that's been going on with Diddy? Well, according to 50 Cent and other industry insiders, everything you're seeing with Diddy is just the tip of the iceberg. Jay-Z has much darker secrets, the only difference between him and Diddy being that he is smarter and not sloppy. Do y'all remember how Jaguar Wright said, basically the same thing in a recent interview? Sean Carter is worse.
I think he would have done that if that was 50 Cent. No one's scared of 50 Cent. I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
I think it was kind of taken out of context a little bit, but what do you think about it?
I don't think it was taken out of context. No, I think the guy who was talking to him made him feel like a punk. You see what I'm saying? So he had to say, yo, nobody scared of 50. Let's get this clear. Nobody is scared of 50. You know, but I'm not the issue. Him making you feel like a punk is the issue. And at the end of the day, I look at it and people don't assess themselves. Even really intelligent people. Jay is a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? He'll analyze other people and other things that they're doing and not actually look at what's happening to him and his transition and difference. But right now, he's in a real safe space. He created this real safe aura. This is why people walking on the stage and why shit is happening like that. A lot of it wouldn't have been like that if he actually dealt with his issues himself. See, he's a Leviticus. When
Alicia is supposed to be doing a song again at the AMAs, but they're going to have like 20 security members on the stage making sure nobody bum rushes.
Everyone wasn't. They just felt, you got to feel comfortable enough to do that. Like, see, don't get fucked up. I'll fuck up. You do some shit like that and I'll fuck up. Let me go on record with that shit. Cause I ain't really with all that dumb shit. I think everybody already know that. And they know, like, they already know. Especially when they walked up there, no matter how hot your record is. She'd enjoyed that shit from the seat, like everybody else. Like, yo. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have walked up there, you know fucking better. Like, it's not that comfortable when I'm around. You know I'm coming with something that can make the response right away if they do something crazy. Right? How you gonna be doing what I'm doing and be comfortable? if you ain't got no response.
And at the end of the day, to me, Tupac #1. I don't care what nobody say. Nobody did what that man did. That man had more albums in death than most people had living. So at the end of the day, that man had a transitional time of coming out a revolutionary rapper, turning into a movie star, a certified movie star, then coming back and dropping Me Against the World, and then coming back and dropping the double album. Man, come on, man. Go on. Half the people y'all say #1 took songs from him to make them popular after he was gone. So at the end of the day, look, man, when half your raps were another man raps, then hey, man, it's great that you could take it and use it, but at the same time, it's like you gotta look at Biggie, Pop, and all that as the top 5 because they set the standards. You got 2 dead superstars that you can sit back and listen to their music, look at what they doing, how they doing it to formulate your own. They didn't have nobody to look at. They were the original copies. So right now, I'm looking at it like, yeah, New York is built on who can rap the best. Okay. Well, if Big would have lived, would Jay still be the best? See, that's what I'm saying. Now, you can look at any of the podcasts from New York and they'll say, hey, bro, Big hands down. They say, first of all, tell me what Jay-Z album was better than Life After Death. None. Okay. Tell me a Jay-Z album that was better than goddamn When Pac Came Home. All Eyes on Me. Me Against the World was a classic. 2. And could stand up against a lot of albums. 2. When he went to jail. And when he went to jail, that's when he dropped Me Against the World and was killing the streets. So I'm like, bro, I was there. I lived through that shit. And you had to have a lot of things happen for you, and a lot of people had to get on your team to push you up here when these guys made that kind of noise without them people being like that. Like, I can't take this, and this is what I'm saying. I'm like, I cannot take that man genius away from him. He is one of the best technical and baddest rappers from New York that has ever come from New York. True. But that's by New York standards. You know what I mean? Out here on the West Coast, they love Eazy-E and Cube. In Texas, they love the Face, the Ghetto Boys. In the South, they love who they love. My thing with hip-hop is just stop all this who the best. It ain't nobody the best. You just the best in your region.
That fucker. I'm sorry, I'm a little upset about it. Because Al B. Shore just came out of his coma, and I've been talking to Al, and we've been texting back and forth, and I'm just glad that he's alive to text.
Oh, wow. Definitely.
Yeah. But when you think about Kim, I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, Al B. Shore, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died it was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas. And then the next thing you know, you want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest motherfucker, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning